All right, we're back with another in-service, and this week we're at St. Peter, Josh Niland's restaurant. Josh treats fish like premium meat and discards almost nothing. Just yesterday, Gourmet Traveller announced them as the best restaurant in Australia. This isn't just cooking seafood. It's about using every single part of the fish that you can.
We just keep everything.
He turns what everyone else thinks is waste into award-winning dishes. Josh Niland.
G'day.
How are you?
I'm very well.
Thank you for having us.
Pleasure.
What's the ethos behind your cooking that's got you all these accolades and incredible cookbooks? And
When Julie and I said that we would like to do our own venture, I think we both agreed that we needed to have a very distinct point of view.
Yep.
And I think fish was ours. We're just going to stick to it. I won't put a steak on, I won't do all that. I'd prefer to cook fish, where there's a lot of problems that arose that came with a lot of creative solutions.
We're here at Fish Butchery, and this is where the process of all those incredible dishes start. Let's go check it out. What do we got here? Some coral trouts?
Coral trout from Ben Collison up in Bowen. So they've just come in. I think he was out yesterday getting them. We have a good look at them just to make sure they're all in good order. But when you're working with somebody like Ben, it's all very, very good.
I think 10 years ago when I was still in kitchens, having fish been delivered like this just didn't exist.
No.
Like it was always on ice and water. Had been cleaned and, you know, half the time been scaled too. And gutted.
Totally.
Because you're like, I don't want to deal with that in my kitchen. Like,
100%. And it's only for people like the Greg Doyles, like the Steve Hodges, and all of the kind of guys that put their hand up and say, hey, can we possibly chat to the fisherman himself? Yeah. So here we are, privileged to work with Ben's Fish.
Yeah.
Before using the knife, I go ahead and I trim off all of these fins.
Yep.
And now it's a matter of sukabiki.
Okay.
Have you done?
No.
The scale has a membrane that looks like honeycomb,
Yep.
and all of these little scales are meshed into that honeycomb webbing, and that's what gives the fish its color. You just want to get a little run in, and once you work out the depth of the scale, then it's a matter of like back forth, and it's just working your way up. You go on Instagram with the photo and wow, check out this great coral trout. They're like, why'd you cut the skin off? It's like, no, the skin is white, and that's just the membrane that carries that color. And so what we're trying to do is keep all of the loose scale that would otherwise be everywhere to contained to one little area. And we just keep everything.
What were the early days of St. Peter like, mate?
We're very fortunate to find a spot on Oxford Street. As the winter sets in June, July, the numbers just plummeted. And my accountant was on the phone. I said, October's when all the national awards happen. You know, all this work's got to be for something. We've just got to get to October. He said, don't worry about October. You're not going to get to August. I made the decision to kind of start putting trays on top of bins like this. And then anything that we thought we should throw in the bin, we'd throw into this tray. And then at the end of the night, we'd pull the tray out and have a look at what was in there. I woke up one morning and I thought it'd be pretty fun to make a, prawn cracker that you get in a Chinese restaurant out of the eyes of the fish. And on the back of the word of mouth then came this audience attracted only to the idea of eating the secondary cuts of a fish. Some people might be thinking to themselves, well, what a waste of bloody time. And then they sent me the guy on Instagram that's got a drill with a whisk beater on the end of it. Once the scale flicks out of the pocket that held it, you create a little trough. Water that resides within those pockets then kind of starts to get into the pores of the fish. That starts to then generate this odor of ammonia. The worst thing that you can do to a fish is wash it. We would never wash a steak under a tap. And if we did, then we'd find ourselves with a pretty miserable steak. That if you put that wet steak on a grill at home as an average Joe, you'd be like, why is my steak kind of grey and a bit watery and mushy and it's stuck to my grill and I can't get it off? And then the onus of that failure then lies with the consumer when it should lie with the industry. We can try to start provoking conversations of, really, is that the best way? Or can we not do it a little better so that we stop catching as many and get more from one?
Not gonna lie, I'm pretty happy with that. First time doing that. All right.
Yeah. Amazing. Once that skin's conditioned, if you throw that on a barbecue, it's cheating. It's cheating. Thank you, mate.
Thanks, Tom.
How you going?
Yeah, look, I've done 2 and you've done 4, but that's all right. It'd be weird if I was faster than you.
Oh, I know, I'd be devastated. So what's your relationship with fish in restaurants?
My big experience with fish was that I ran the fish section at Tom's Kitchen, at Tom Atkins Brasserie, for 2 years.
Yeah. Is it correct in saying that the habitual nature and the way that we get trained is that we scale wash, gut wash,
Absolutely.
fillet wash, and then, you know,
There you go, that's my 4th one, and I'm pretty happy with that.
Look at that.
Look at that. What do you reckon? Do all right?
It's great.
Cool.
That's sharp as. All right, I'll pack this away and we'll have a look at cleaning these up further. Good wipe off, no muck on the bench, we're ready to go. I do this with scissors. I know everybody will want to do it with knives, and that's cool.
Yeah.
Do whatever you like.
Yeah.
I stay really high,
Yeah.
so much so that you can see the bottom blade,
Yeah.
just to avoid any contact with the offal. At this point, you can take out the throat.
Yep.
That's a delicious thing
Yep.
where we can just lightly oil it, season it, grill it on the barbie,
Yeah, yeah.
and it's just all gelatine.
Yep.
It's delicious.
Yep.
I come back under the gill, and then I'm able to open it up like this. That's my organs there.
Yep. Pulling apart beef. You just
Yeah.
find the seams, don't you?
Yeah, and I mean, seam butchery is actually quite amazing
Yeah.
to do on a fish. Something
that.
like an amberjack or a hub hooker where the top loin, mid loin, and belly are very divided by seams.
Yeah, yeah.
And if you get your knife between it and then open it up and start moving it aside, it's you get some amazing cuts.
It's a far longer story, but I took down so many notes in a little notebook at Fish Face on Darlinghurst where Steve made comment one night, anything you do to an animal, you should be able to do to a fish.
Yeah.
And this idea of like tuna looking like a cow, and you know how to cook beef, don't you? And swordfish kind of looks like a pig, you know how to cook pork, don't you? And it just starts, the cogs turning. That paired with the logic that if you were to wash a fish, it goes backwards.
Yeah.
And you know, again, you've got people like Neil, Greg and Steve that have been the flag bearers of that theory for decades. And so to come along and pair that vision along with my own creative acumen of applying meat theory to fish creates something identifiably our own.
So you've got something like that, the fish organ system. So that's coral, this
Yep.
is amberjack, and the same makeup, liver here, liver
Yep.
here. So this congealed blood at the back,
Yep.
we've taken that off a few times of different fish, harvested enough of them,
Yep.
and then made like a fluid blood from that to
Yep.
then make a black pudding.
Yep.
And it's been great,
Yep.
so that's cool. But that's the heart.
Yep.
This, which is the fish's spleen,
Right.
which is again one of those dark organs that when eaten super fresh, like it is now, is at its best. Otherwise then to salt it or smoke it.
Yeah.
And then this is a boy, ladies and gentlemen, we have a boy. This is, I suppose, in Japan they call shirako. Here we call it milt. This here at the back is the maw, or the swim bladder,
Yep.
which you've seen before in
Yep.
maw soup.
Yep.
Or if you were to steam it, dry it, spread it out, and then you end up with this beautiful pork crackling.
Yeah,
it's
right.
like fish chicharron. Like it's amazing, and it'll like quadruple in size.
puff up.
You'll have something this big, and it'll be like.
Yeah, yeah.
And again, it's just a neutral taste.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like it just carries, it's void of fish flavor,
Yeah.
especially handling it the way that we handle it. And I've interpreted this in the past as well as crepinette.
Yeah, yes.
And
That
we've
makes sense.
taken the jowl and the cheek out of the actual fish head.
Yeah.
We've put it in the middle and then put a slice of truffle in and then over
Right.
and then into a pan and then glaze it
Yeah, right.
with a fish bone sauce. And that's the stomach.
Yep.
Extraordinary part of the fish.
Yeah, right.
And I just think so underutilized because that in itself is like trotter. It does everything that land-based offal
Yep.
in the sense of bone marrow tendon and trotter and hocks and things, that gives you that in the fish world. But again, the neutrality of it and how plain and simple it is, and a vehicle that is all gelatine can then carry whatever flavor you want, which is then why I'm saying we'll probably make Bordelaise sauce tomorrow night
Yeah.
to go with our tuna course,
Yeah.
but serve it with a sauce that's got a brumise of truffle,
Yep.
a dice of very sticky, soft stomach in there, is really exciting. So next one here is the liver.
It looks exactly like
Poultry
a
liver.
Yeah, like a chicken liver or even like a piece of fried gras.
And then finally, in amongst this pylorus and gnarly that's left over, we start to have a look at the large intestine. Sometimes we've used the swordfish belly bacon we make and we
Yep.
do like an intestine carbonara.
Yep.
You'll see that there's actual visceral
Yep.
white fat
Yep.
that's hugging all these organs, like this here. That's
Yeah,
just
yeah, that's-
pure fat.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it is. You can just push your
Pure
finger through
fat.
it. Yeah, yeah.
And if you were to put that into a fry pan or a
just
pot,
render.
it'd just render into a liquid
Beautiful.
that you could roast your potatoes in,
Yep.
or you could do whatever. From mortadella to, you know, the beautiful Toulouse and the chorizo and like all the sausages that we make, we've got these cubes of white fat through it. Even the pâté en croûte that we make over there, you've got this distinct fat that gives you texturally and aesthetically what an animal fat would give you. So that's been a big unlock for us.
You got to cure it first, though, eh?
You got to cure it first, and then you can cure it with rosemary and garlic and make all the flavors you want.
Fish anatomy.
But yeah, that's it. And then hook goes in and then in on the rail. And
so that's under the flesh or under the...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't do it from that side, mainly because it does that.
Yes.
Like, and it kind of... And then after time,
Yeah.
they'll stay like that.
Yeah.
And also, it's not conducive to good ventilation
Yeah.
because we're trying to keep this cavity dry,
Yeah.
clean, and everything.
Yeah.
So then if we go like this, it's more orderly.
Yeah, but it's the same thing in beef. There's arguments of how to hang a carcass so many ways.
So the theory of dry aging is not so much to go like, here's this cool dry age thing that I did and be clickbait, but more so one of a sustainable way of handling fish and a more logically sensible way of not washing it to then accelerate what is already the incredibly fragile ingredient, like to its demise. Day 3 is as early as we'll go, but usually day 4 to day 7 is like, in my opinion, like the sweet spot for coral. And then as you move into that day 4 territory, it becomes just broader. Like you get more shellfish because there's less moisture. I don't want you to remember that you had this yummy white flesh fish. I think it was snapper thing. Like, I don't want that. I want you to go like, no, that was coral trout and that was the best fish I've ever had. And you do have this shellfish-like sweetness to the coral trout.
Is that because they're eating shellfish?
Yeah, the consumption of the crustacea that they consume.
There you go. They're going to stay there for about 3 days. We'll come back to some other ones that they prepped a few days ago, and we'll follow the coral trout journey from this point all the way through to the plate. You up?
Yeah. We all in. I wanted to round everybody up more so just because Andy and the team. So we've got Andy, who we know. Yeah, from us, welcome. We're super grateful to have you here and excited. So good.
Thank you for having me, guys.
And also Restaurant of the Year.
Yay, well done.
Well done. Cool. All right, let's go.
Thanks, guys.
Well,
on the nettles, straight into it.
On the nettles, straight in.
Awesome. All right, first job here with Reese, picking stinging nettles.
Yes.
And as they say on the packet, they sting.
They do indeed. That's why we've got these lovely gloves on to stop us getting stung.
What dish is this for, mate?
So this is for our pre-main.
Okay.
So we pick down all these nettles and then we saute them off in some butter. And then we get our spinach in there. We tend to go one part nettle to 2 part spinach.
Okay.
And then that will go onto our main plate tonight, along with some other purees.
And is that for the cold trout? Is that?
Yes, that'll be the cold trout tonight.
Who do you reckon the first person ate a stinging nettle was?
Oh, yeah, I always think about that. Why do they do that?
Just put a tiny bit of water in it.
Yeah, so that was the fat that we harvested from all those coral trout yesterday. Chef's just rendering it down, same way you'd render down animal tallow, beef tallow. A little bit of water, nice low heat. The water will steam off and the fat is just left behind.
Nice to scale coral trout.
Thank you. How many grams are you doing per portion, Chef?
This will be around the 90 gram mark. So this is the pre-main fish. So we don't want to hit them with too much protein going into a pretty heavy main course.
So they're starting at the top of the grill?
Start them in the oven. So you're going to see that later. So we have our oven at a very low temperature until they're just starting to come up to temperature really. They sit above the grill. They get cooked from there, go under the heat lamps and then carve and go. That's how we're able to do what we do with most of our fish. So you'll see that with the tuna, the coral trout, and a few other species tonight.
So very similar to how you reverse sear beef, yeah? Bring up the temperature
exactly
slowly.
The same, yeah.
Yeah. Done, Chef.
Thank you very much, Andy.
My pleasure.
Appreciate that.
I'm going to go cut some artichokes, I
Yes,
think.
thank you.
Need a hand down here, Chef? So this here is what they call a turning knife. Almost a lost art, aren't they, Chef?
Yeah.
How many potatoes have you turned in your career, Chef?
Oh, fair few, but
Fair
not for a
few?
few years.
Not in Australia?
Yeah, I think no, not in Australia. I didn't bring it over.
So artichokes, as soon as you start peeling them, they oxidize really quick. So I use heaps of lemon in there. And you would have seen us both also kind of rubbing the lemon on the outside as well. Just stops it from oxidizing too quickly.
So Andy, obviously you scaled all of these yesterday and gutted them. They've now come over, we've taken them off of the bone and fillets ready for dinner. So I'm just going to finish pin boning these. The heads are going to be picked down into a little rillette that you're also going to see. So what we do is we steam them, take all the skin off and then extract all of that meat around the cheeks,
yeah.
the collars, and then on the jowl on the inside of the heads as well.
Yeah.
Then all of these bones, we're then going to pressure cook them.
Sure.
And then what we do is we turn that into a pasta dough.
Yeah.
And then that is our first course. So every bit of this fish you're going to see tonight across the menu. So what you've got here is one of the processed bones.
Oh, amazing.
So we take all of that meat off, we then get it to this stage, and then they get pressure cooked from there. So here's one we did earlier.
How long have you been here for then?
Since
let's go.
2019. So,
Yeah, right.
Yeah, 5 years. Yeah. Spent a little bit of time back in the UK during COVID, and then
You came running back, eh?
that literally.
So the offal from yesterday?
This is all the coral offal,
Yep.
where we've got the livers through the center here that I've pretty much trimmed up, cut them into cubes so that I can get them all on a cocktail pin. And the ambition here is to give a little bit of spleen, a little bit of heart, a little bit of liver, and then also the throat. All I've done with that is just a tiny bit of that coral trout fat that we rendered with verjus, just because it's neutral enough, but it's a little bit sweet and sticky by the time you finish, and a pinch of salt.
So these have been salted for 1 hour as fillets with the pin bone in, and then we take them out. We then wash them in champagne vinegar.
Okay.
And then we leave them in champagne vinegar from anything from 8 to 15 minutes. And then basically we'll just trim it so you got a square edge. Obviously checking the guys have done really good pin boning. So the main part of this is making sure that each slice is the same thickness. But I really like it because it's super simple. And after you have the charcuterie, which is like information overload, onto my tray, that's all yours.
How many of these you cut up at this point, mate?
I reckon we're in good thousands. No, it's quite therapeutic at this time. It's not that therapeutic at like 5:45.
When you're in the
got
shit.
2 away.
So this one is the main course this evening. So you've got yellowfin tuna and swordfish, both coming from Heidi and Pava and Malulaba. So what we've done is we've just cut the tuna into these really nice barrels. And then the idea behind the swordfish is to almost resemble a small cap of fat over the top. So just got a very thin slice that matches the same profile. Then we've got some nori that we're then just going to roll in nice and tightly to it. And then we're just then going to let that sit. Then what you end up with is this one here that I did earlier. And then just sits into that fat over the top. And then they will get cooked just before service, very gently in the oven before being finished over the fire. To get this cut means that there is some wastage. So then with that, we're trying to thread that into the menus where we can. So all of the swordfish is minced down and that goes into the empanadas in the bar. All of the tuna is turned into the nduja, which is on the charcuterie, and also with our calamari course. And then all the tuna trim goes into pate en croûtes, pies, and then lots of other baked goods as well. So trying to find as much use out of all of this as we can.
We're gonna make our terrine tart. We need to just pick up some fish heads and all the scraps we need. We're gonna steam this, Chef Andy, tart shell, and we're gonna get some verjus jelly on top with some flowers, most of the time with marigolds. So we have got fish sticks, the skewers, and then we are serving with 3 kinds of pies, generally tarts. So we're gonna have potato tart today, one of the terrine tart, and we're gonna have a tara masala tart, which already set. So we are just behind this one, so we need to do this one.
Let's go.
We don't want the skin, mainly next to the head. There's a lot of small bones. And just try to flake. So much collagen.
Yeah, it's beautiful, isn't it? That is probably the best piece of meat on the whole fish. That's the cheek. So this piece here, which is often discarded, but is literally full of gelatin and fat.
Tuna belly,
Yeah, right.
we always interpret it as skirt
Yeah.
or hanger.
How old's that?
That's matching 15.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, to where it was.
And not an odor on it.
No, it's only through sheer investigation of what happens to things that now we carry a bit of a band of knowledge to go. We've got another 4 days on that before it hits this, or by the time those maitakes arrive, the tuna will be ready, and then we can go. Not everything's destined to just swing about in a cool room in the hope that somehow something magical happens. So these are flame cockles.
Yeah, right.
So they're coming from Craig Lukey, who I was talking to you about the mackerel.
Yeah. Is fish ever on the menu for staff meal?
Very rarely.
All right, it's just after 3 o'clock. The energy's starting to change in the room as people start to realise that they've got to be ready for service. Staff food will be up soon and they'll all be having something to eat and setting up their sections. This is the time in prep where you're either good to go or you're not. Looks like everyone's good to go at the moment.
Put passing spots for me on the pass?
Love to.
Yeah, I'll grab this plan.
This is a very fine dining way of making mash. So we take our potatoes, we roast them over a big bed of salt, which helps draw the moisture out. And we scoop the flesh out and we're going to pass it through this very fine drum sieve. This is probably the finest drum sieve I've ever seen, to be perfectly honest. And that way you get absolutely zero lumps. It's kind of more a pommes puree than a then a mash.
Only the best for St. Peter.
Only the best. Back in my day, now I sound like an old chef, before we had really powerful blenders, we used to have to pass all our, it's true, we had to pass all our purees through drum sieve, didn't we, chef?
Moolies and then into...
Moolie and then through a drum sieve,
Yeah.
Tickets come out in terms of dietaries and oysters.
Yes.
Other than that, all the menus are the same. So what the way it will read is check on 2 covers, no dietaries, no oysters.
Sure.
And then this is the sheet of, we always do table numbers, covers, diets, oysters, and then each course we time it as it goes.
Right.
It's a lot easier than having dockets for 12 courses. It's just where we are so open, we're kind of anticipating near enough every table of are they close? Okay, let's start cooking. So the wait time is minimal.
Try to keep it inside 4 to 5 minutes as best we can per course. How you going, Andy?
Yeah, good.
Good.
I'm starting to think Reese doesn't like me. Pick the needles and pass the mash through the finest drum sieve I've ever seen in my life.
Guys, briefing please, everyone included.
Yeah, thanks for coming, and yeah, hopefully we put on a good show.
No, thanks for having us. And it's really impressive what you do. So congratulations on the award.
Well done. All right, let's go.
I remember putting those plates up and just being like, you know, I'm in the shit
that's
already.
right.
Like, please don't do me.
Happy days, Reese. You're in the clear.
No sendbacks.
Nice.
Wow.
Great.
So what Chef was doing just then was tasting all the sauces before service, and it feels like this is a bit of a lost art because saucier and saucing kind of disappeared from menus for the last 10 years, it feels like. That gave me flashbacks of having to do that in Reese's position, and the one thing you don't want is then to send it back and you have to make it again, because that can stuff up the rest of your night. But he was in the clear. Well done, Reese.
This room is like my dream restaurant. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And then outside of that, the rooms upstairs.
Yeah. So how many rooms upstairs?
14.
14.
Yeah, so 14 rooms. Julie and I are incredibly proud of the whole final product because it feels nice.
Yeah.
And I don't think it feels like anywhere else. Like you couldn't be anywhere else. Really, the experience of the dining room does start to, merge into the living, and to have breakfast in the front bar with Marin scrambled eggs, and it's pretty cool. It's very nice.
Yeah, it's good to see someone kind of taking back these like boutique hotels, because I think it's something that England's done really well
Incredibly
for a long time.
Yeah.
It feels like it's nice to see it kind of coming down here. All right, the team's ready. The energy in the room is changing. The lights are dimming. But everyone seems ready. Everyone seems ready to go. This is the exciting part. It's almost the calm before the storm. But I'm excited. It should be fun. Start down at the oyster section, and then we'll move on to the main line, do the pre-main, the main, and then go back and see the dessert. So what do we got here, Chef?
We've got some caramelised fish scales.
Caramelised fish scales.
Tastes like popcorn, I promise.
It does.
There you go. No one believes me when I say that.
No.
So we use them in a few things.
Yep.
For the magnums, like with some chocolates as well, little bits and bobs. They're quite nice little finishing thing.
Yeah.
Everyone freaks out, but they're actually quite tasty.
Is Andy doing sorbet checks?
Yeah, just make sure they're right.
Good.
You can be honest.
Oh, wow.
The lemon's actually my favourite.
That's delicious.
Really, we have 3 types of oysters today.
Sure.
Mermolo, tumbler, and wodonga.
And the guest chooses what one they want?
Yeah, they can choose.
And the plates that we're serving these on, these are made using oyster shells.
Right.
So made by a lady called Claudia Lamb. She's based down in Melbourne. And then the little vinegar that Juliet has just put inside there, that's made using oyster shells as well.
Wow.
So we put them into an acid, leave them for 4 days, and they completely dissolve. We then put that into a fruit paste vinegar and leave it for 3 months. And then we end up with an oyster shell vinegar.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Very clever.
Every part of the oyster on that plate, isn't there? We go through stages with the oyster program of having up to 10 to 12 oysters on at the same time as well. We're currently on 3 because of this rain we've had. One of each straight up, please, in the restaurant.
This got called one soup.
Wait.
Yeah, so one charcuterie.
I think we might need another one, yeah?
Yes. 30 seconds, please. And then quickly
Wait.
just jump.
So what happened there, when I opened that oyster, my knife slipped in and I stabbed it. In most restaurants, they'd still send it, not here. I'm gonna save that, use the oyster for something else tomorrow. It's not served like an oyster, and we open a new one.
When it's dark like this.
Yeah, no good?
I mean, it's still good,
Yeah,
but
not perfect.
not perfect. Just do perfectly.
Nice oysters, Andy.
Thanks, Chef.
So thank you.
How was I as your apprentice tonight?
Did a good job.
I'm a good apprentice.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Did a
Chef.
good job. You can come back tomorrow.
Thank you, Chef. So this is the charcuterie. It goes down on the table after the oysters. So everything is completely fish.
So that's andouille,
Unduja.
mortadella,
Yeah.
and then we have pickled chili in the
Yeah.
middle,
Yeah.
sujuk,
Yeah.
and then here we have marling ham,
Yeah.
swordfish bacon,
Yeah.
lucanico, castellano, and a pickle. This is a tara masala tart.
Yep.
Coral head.
Yep.
A John Dory liver pate.
Okay.
Very nicely with butter.
Yep.
Got the last little finishing piece here, which is our 2 sausages. So
Right.
first one is the Murray cod Toulouse. Second one is the chorizo, which has just been cooked over the charcoal. We always joke, but it's 8 years on a stick. So 8 years of trial and error and just getting it to this point. You can see all the fat in there. So that's cured Murray cod fat.
It's so familiar, yet the texture's bang on, the flavor profile's bang on, but then you 100% get that Murray cod through there.
Yeah, so cured fat, those cubes in there. So meaning then that when you eat it, you do get that textural contrast. Yeah, so this one made in the style of a chorizo, yeah.
Just as delicious as a chorizo. Looks like I'm working at St. Peter and eating tonight.
That's delicious. That's so good.
Delicious bouillabaisse. Those noodles are lovely and tender. If I didn't know that was made out of bones, I wouldn't know. It's almost like it's made out of chicken stock. It's so full-bodied.
Yeah, all roasted fish bones, flesh, meat, heads, and then all blended together to give it that mouthfeel. But
beautiful.
Lot of time and patience goes into that one. So, and a lot of beautiful fish. We only buy, obviously, the fish that we would serve in the restaurant that goes into that. It's not like we're taking fish bones and just turning it into it. It's it's a very expensive product that we make for a soup, but yeah, you can see why now. Yeah. So you see the dining room's pretty much full. Just got 3 tables that are yet to sit in this first round. We know in the next kind of 15, 20 minutes, we're going to get hit pretty hard on 2, 6, 8, 12, like almost 14 covers. So that's the skewer from the coral trout. So all of the offal, the threads and things that we saw earlier. Can I get 2 soups straight up, please? There you have it. Coral trout that you prepared.
What do you think that's the one thing that's most misunderstood about your philosophy as a restaurateur, and not just as the fish guy?
There's probably 2 facets: the misinterpretation of what we actually do here, and is it delicious? I'll get you to get on some dots once I get these ones down.
Sweet.
And if you stick to the rough guideline of that. I know a lot of people that presume to think that the food we do is for show or to be, shock or rather than carry any substance.
Can we go 4 more coral trout after this, please?
We are.
So clean.
I know, right?
It's not like offal at all.
It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
I can promise you that the 20 years of work that I suppose I've personally applied, let alone the people that I've got here, to just be completely consumed and obsessed and addicted to food and the romance of a service that gives you goosebumps and can make the whole room slow down.
Can I also get 2 calamari up, please? Just hold on the last 2 quickly, Josh, sorry. Table 6, go Tatum.
We place really extreme importance on the flavour of food and the removal of confrontation from the textural and aesthetic element of fish that makes people uncomfortable.
I find it really easy as well if you do the perimeter first and then just fill in the gap because it kind of moves.
Runs, yeah. You can vary your dot size as well.
Okay.
Where fish salami or dry aged tuna or a tuna Wellington might seem like how novel, how cute. It's serving a purpose of a bigger plan to make sure that we recover everything back.
Yep.
Mainly because of the economics. Because like I said, if you've got a $300 product and you use $150 of it, you go broke really quick.
The idea behind this one is you're dragging your knife through it.
Okay.
So you're not pulling the knife up and going through, and also you're not rocking it. If you rock, it doesn't go through, so it's just that drag. Motion. Okay. And then just...
And are we going as fine as we can, or are we...
We want it as fine as possible, but we want the long noodles.
Okay.
We don't want to end up with lots of kind of off pieces in there. And then that's the portion there. So then we will season that up. So I'll leave you with that one there. Thank you. And then I'll just stick that one under the lights for you. Yeah, it's a strange motion, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It's a few short ones, but...
Yeah, so basically you got yellowfin tuna and duya here. What we've done to it, we basically roasted it out so it renders all the tuna fat but also the Murray cod fat that we got into it. So yeah, we've got this amazing calamari coming from Bruce Collis from the Corner Inlet. Take the membrane off the inside and the outside of the hood, which people often don't do, and that's what makes it super chewy, regardless of how much cooking you do. And then Rio's just grilled it over the barbecue as the hood, as a whole hood. turning it every 10 seconds or so. Like we want no color and we want it just to be warm to touch. And then we want to slice it into almost like a rice noodle texture. As you can see, it's really, really thin. Kind of grab your portion as a handful with your fingertips almost, and then move the bowl out your way. And then with the other hand, you're going to twist and you're going to slowly put it in and try and keep it central, but also really quite natural.
I feel like I'm butchering this one.
No, you're nearly there. Pretty much there.
Yep.
We just try and keep it a little bit more centre so
tighter.
you can see this rim of oil, but we also don't want it to look like this really, really tight spaghetti or linguine. And that's it.
Beautiful. Yeah, okay. I think the calamari's got a great texture, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's buttery, it's, you know, and identifiably corner inlet. When you're on the boat, you look out and you see all the beautiful grass in the water, and you can see the flathead swimming in there and stuff. It all has this very similar minerality to it that grass gives it. There's some 80 varieties of crustacea that live in that water that the whiting, the calamari, the flatties, the snapper, the garfish all feed on. So they're all just beautifully sweet. And to think that it's, you know, it's a tuna and it's calamari.
So that all that fat there, is that all
cod fat?
Cod fat.
Yeah, and a wee bit of olive oil just to temper it, just so it's not too OTT. Yeah.
It's delicious.
Yeah.
I'm not even hungry, I can't stop eating it. This is the mackerel dish that I was carving earlier. It's one of Josh's, that's probably your most famous dish.
It's the most repeatedly photographed one.
Sure.
So,
We just put the tail in the end.
Yep.
It's nice to say head to tail.
Yep.
And we try to leave it at room temperature because it tastes better.
Yep.
Then this is all of the gored out olive brine. So from the first course, we make a fish sauce using all of the mackerel offal, bones, and any scraps. Then some extra virgin olive oil from Mount Zero. Then the idea behind this is, as the little saying goes, rip, dip, butterfish. So tear a piece of the bread off, soak all of that brine till it goes almost soft. Good amount of butter, and then a slice of fish over the top.
That mackerel, it's so clean.
yeah, and the olive manages to stay out of the way. Like you can taste the mackerel, but then the brininess is what makes you want to have another one.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not that stereotypical mackerel thing that everybody's like, oh, I don't like mackerel. And then they eat it and they go, oh, that was the best course.
You've been recognised by some of the biggest people in our industry, well, in chefing world.
Yep.
How many pinch me moments has there been, and when was the biggest one when you were like talking to someone that you just didn't think would ever happen?
Yeah, I mean, probably one of the biggest pinch me ones was standing in a cool room with Jamie Oliver the first time that he ate at St. Peter. Recently, where you kind of, you know, you're in the presence of somebody like Michel Gerard and Danielle Ballou and Eric Ripert and all these amazing French chefs in an awards in Paris, where I was literally there for about 28 hours in total. But when you get to be around that and the Monsieur Ducasse and all this sort of stuff, I can't believe what this is what this has turned into. All right, so yeah, Sweets of the Sea cannelé with the 12-month aged Kaluga caviar by N25. We all say that it's got that headiness of foie gras fat and roasted hazelnuts, and that gets sprayed with whiskey on the outside. Then you've got the choux bun, which is filled with a blood orange caramel in the bottom, or blood orange jam, and then a custard cream. It's almost like Diplomat, but instead of doing it with eggs, we do it with the collagen out of the fisheye. So that's the nanny guy eyes that we saw the other day, and topped with a tempered disc of white chocolate. Then you've got the yellowfin tuna bone marrow and milk chocolate fudge that we then put a little sprinkling of sugar and then a hot piece of charcoal on top, so it's nice and smoky. And then the newest one to literally go on tonight is one of those cockle shells that we played with before, but basically using fish gelatine to make a fruit jelly, where we're using the biodynamic tango mandarins from Living Earth Farm down south in Robinson, and then a bit of citric sugar to make you a bit of a buzz at the end. So fun.
All right. Well, where do I start, you reckon?
We always say caviar because it slides out of the main course. It's like a savoury beginning and just sweet finish. So Kaluga, 12-month.
Oh, great texture, chef. The caviar works so well. It really does, doesn't it? And just that right amount of You know, that mandarin coming through as well.
Yeah,
and cleans it out.
No, it's lovely.
All right, mate. Service done.
Done and dusted.
Start to finish.
You got us over the finish line.
Oh yeah, yeah, right. I really
Mate,
helped
if
you.
you weren't here,
yeah, would have
we're just
gone tits up.
No.
We started at fish butchery yesterday. You took
Yeah.
us all the way through that process.
It's nice to have a whole fish and see it through.
All the way
over
through
here.
every part.
Yeah.
Mate, I can't thank you enough.
No, my pleasure. Thank you.
Congratulations again on the award.
Oh, thank you.
Well deserved.
Nice to share the kind of day after with you and
Yeah.
you guys. You're all fantastic. So
Appreciate it, mate. We'll be in for dinner soon.
good.
Thanks,
See you
Jeff.
soon. Thanks, mate.
All right, so that was St. Peter. And I'm a little bit flabbergasted. I have never witnessed a restaurant anything like that. And it was amazing to watch those beautiful coral trouts come in, see them broken down to all their parts and cooked with such attention and care. It's no surprise that that just won the best restaurant in Australia.